Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to From Here and There, the Aquí Y Alla, storytelling for love, healing, and liberation.
Yes, thank you for joining us. This is super, super special for us. Cindy and I are excited to be with you, and we're going to be together for about 20 minutes. And what we would like to invite you to do so that we're all present and grounded is to actually dance with us. So, in today's time, we're going to ground by dancing together. We're going to ask you to choose a song that you love and that you want to move your body to so that we can get connected to our bodies and feel energized for this time together. So,
Let's do it.
let's do it.
We love to dance. I love that it's like the same dance, right?
This is the chair
Love,
dancing special.
Healing, liberation.
Hey. De aquí y de allá.
De aquí
y
de allá. From here and there. Do you remember that Vogue dance? Do you remember that? I was never really good at that.
I was good at going all the way back. Let me see if I can still do it.
I know I couldn't do that.
We gotta be careful. Porque no tengo seguro. Here we go.
Uh-oh. I got your back, Mama.
I'm gonna stay up and shake my hips a little bit.
No, they might not be able to handle it if I get up.
So I think they can handle it. You should get up.
All right, just a little bit. I'm gonna just give you a little bit. Maybe next episode. I'm gonna give you a little shoulder.
Hey.
I never heard Spanish soca before.
Yeah.
I love it.
Soca gal.
Oh. Love, healing, and liberation.
Hey, de aquí y de allá.
From here and there.
Hey,
I hope you're joining us.
I know they are.
Because everybody loves to dance.
Beautiful.
All right. Heidi, that was awesome. I was a little scared, though. I thought we were going to have to go on 911. So I'm glad you were able to reel it back.
How you feeling now?
I'm feeling awesome.
Good.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Heidi, for bringing us that wonderful soca jam.
Sure.
And welcome again to From Here and There, the Aquí Y Alla, storytelling for love, healing, and liberation.
Yes. So we are so happy because we love being around each other, which is fantastic. And we love being with you. And we are super, super excited, blessed, motivated to really be talking about how we can access our stories, what do our stories really mean in the world, and to be doing that centering love, healing, and liberation. I know for me, it's work that I do in the world in different ways, and so this is one of the ways that I'll get to do that. And it's really for me about building community. Right? Like the fact that we're here with each other on a weekday in your office, but this is a meeting. Making it work means that we get to spend time with one another and
during
have
my lunch hour.
Yep, lunch hour. Well, no soda. And and then be here with y'all. So what does it mean to actually be building community together?
Right.
And for me, that's a form of healing. I get to actually connect with folks, especially during a time of the year, this winter, con el frío, with the cold, where there tends to be a lot of isolation for me. And so I really appreciate that what we're talking about doing, we actually are doing literally as we're talking about it. So that's what our time together is going to be about. It's going to be a practice space for us to actually engage in storytelling with love, healing, and for the purpose of liberation.
Definitely. And we're really looking forward to inspiring you, educating you, talking about cuentos, our stories, stories of healing, stories of liberation. And we really want to hear from you. So if something we share, if it inspires you, if you have a similar story, we want to hear about it. So we'd like for you to email us at mutantuniteforliberation@gmail.com. We're working on setting up a Twitter, Facebook, website, but for right now, we're a little bit technologically challenged. So we're working on that. But in the meantime, you could definitely hit us up at mutantsuniteforliberation@gmail.com.
Yeah, and the who we are is going to maybe explain a little bit about how we came to this mutant piece.
Yes.
So we often talk about who are our people, right? That's one of the questions that we get to ask ourselves, and that we also ask of others. I know it comes up in the work that I do with two really good friends that I get to do racial equity and liberation work with, Monica Dennis and Rachel Ibrahim. And that's a question we often ask people, and it's so open, and it's so interesting where folks really go with it. So for me, this concept of mutant came up really through a combination of like dreams and conversations, writing, and I really just started to think about the fact that, especially because I love Octavia Butler, so reading her work, I started to think about the fact that as a first generation person, I am a mutant. Right? Like nobody in the history of all of my people that came before me, all of them, none of them grew up in this country. None of them ever experienced winters. None of them ever really grew up in the United States. And so what does it mean to be the first person in the history of all that came before me to be having this particular experience? And what would that mean in terms of what I am doing, what I have done, and what I will need to do in the future to actually morph, shape, shift, and mutate to be able to have this experience that is so different from all my folks. So that's where for me the mutation came from, and that is so intertwined in being a woman of color, being first generation, being queer, being someone who identifies as Black, who's also Caribeña, and is specifically from a Spanish-speaking Caribbean country that has its own complex relationship with race and color and racism. And then what does it mean to have that be true, and then also have it be true in the United States, where although I identify as Black and am identified as Black, I don't have the experience of African Americans in this country and all those hundreds of years of a very particular reality. So really holding all of that, right? All of those complexities and rich nuances, de todo un poco, you know, to say that we are from here and there, which is a play off of that refrán, that saying that says, ni de aquí, ni de allá, right? That usually we don't fit. Right. You know, you go back home and you're Dominican, and you're here, and people are always asking, oh, where are you from? And I'm like, oh, Washington Heights. And they're like, no, where are you really from? And I'm like, I was born and raised here, right? So we actually get to claim that we are from here and there.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's changing the paradigm. You know, when you think about the mutants, right? I think our names are perfect examples of that.
Yes.
You know, my name is Cindy Maria Bautista Tomas, and Tomas being my married name. And so Cindy is my name. It's not Cynthia. It's not Lucinda, Cindy Angela, Cindy Caribeña. It is Cindy.
And spelled Cindy.
And so the funny thing about that is that I was the youngest of 5. My mom, when I came around, they hadn't thought of a name for me. They called my oldest sister and said, you know, what should we name her? And Cindy was one of her best friends, and so that's my name. And so oftentimes when I introduce myself, and people could sometimes hear my Spanish accent when I speak, depending on what I'm doing and what I'm saying, and they'll say, Cindy, is your name Cynthia? Is it Lucinda? And I'm always like, no, it's Cindy. And I'm constantly saying, no, it's Cindy. And just last week, someone said, oh, hello, Cynthia. And I had to say, no, it's Cindy. And so, and then the Maria, right? So every one, when you think about a Latina woman, Maria is a name that comes up often. And of course, it's a biblical name. And so in my family, there's a tradition of choosing one of the names as a biblical name. And so Maria is my middle name. And so what I find really fascinating is that when I met Heidi, we connected because of some stories we were sharing. And our stories mirrored one another. And we just had this synergy that was just so magical. And so I'm really excited about doing this with you, Heidi. But tell us a little bit about your name, because your middle name is also Maria, which is really fascinating. So tell us a little bit about your name.
Every other Dominicana, right? Every other Spanish-speaking person has Maria somewhere in there. So my name is Heidi Maria Lopez. And I often talk about my name being this combination of my parents coming to this country, my mother seeing the movie with this little blonde girl and deciding, pues yo quiero eso también. Like, I want that for my daughter. So, and what is that? That is that freedom, that liberty, that access, the privilege of whiteness in this country, right? So Heidi being like the whitest white name that ever did exist, literally having roots in Germany. And then you have Maria, who is my grandmother, Maria, who is many grandmothers, Maria, who, like you said, is often the name given to just any Spanish woman is going to be Maria. And and having both of those things together is that, like, what is the sort of like cognitive dissonance, for the fancy term, but really the sort of sense making that we try to do when we're bringing together so many different cultures and really so many different dreams and wishes and histories and futures, because I feel like my name really holds all of that. So and the mutating part is most of my life I've gone by just Heidi Lopez. And had that on my resume. And I always say I think I've gotten every job interview because people just want to see who walks in the door for Heidi Lopez, right? And then also I started using Heidi Maria Lopez fully to say, you know what, I'm going to stand firmly in the fact that both of these things are my name and identity, and that my mother chose them for me, right? That she made some sort of decision and put some thought, attention, care, and love and trying to reconcile these different parts of ourselves.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Cindy Maria.
Mm-hmm.
My father called me that when I was in trouble. So I think if I started calling myself Cindy Maria, it might bring back some memories that I don't want.
Maybe that's a point of healing.
But that's another episode, right? So I want to answer your question.
Yeah.
You said you want to know, who are my people?
Who are your people?
Right? So my people are Afro-Latinos around the world. My people are people from the Dominican Republic, people from the African diaspora. My people are divorcees. That's an identity we don't talk about a lot. My people are step-parents. That's another identity we don't talk about. My people are Spanish-speaking people. My people are people that want racial liberation. My people, economic equity. My people are my family. My friends who I hold closely to my heart. My people are people that love to laugh. I love to laugh and enjoy myself. My people are visionaries. My people are people that want to collect stories to share for this podcast, so that we could have love, healing, and liberation. That's just, we would be here all day because I have a lot of people.
Yeah.
But that's just to name a few.
Yeah.
Who are your people, Heidi Maria Lopez?
My people, very similarly, my people are folks who resist and who do that with joy and love and dancing and shaking and hips and drums and beats and food. My people love to eat. My people love to, I'm surprised we don't have food here. Anyway. So my people love to eat. My people are a global Black people. Right? So Black people and people in the African diaspora all over the world. My people are Spanish-speaking Caribbean people. My folks are folks who are first generation. My people are queer people. My people are spiritual herbalists, or folks who really are about this earth medicine life and going back to, because it is back to what we know that heals us and that does that with community and love, and who practice whatever that looks like, who do things that center that uplift that make it happen, and that make it happen for ourselves and other people. And my people are getting free. Like, my people are folks who are doing that through dope memes or songs and also organizing. So my people are organizers all over the world. Yeah, those are my people.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, this is exciting work that you're doing, and definitely let's talk about sort of where we see this going. Like, we talked about earlier, this is again from here and there, the Aqui Y Alla, storytelling for love, healing, and liberation. And in that, thinking about, what are ways in which we, as women of color, we come together. We didn't say it, either of us, but we're both social workers. That's interesting that we didn't say it. And, I feel like innately part of that profession is intertwined with sort of who we are as individuals that are social justice advocates, individuals that are really doing racial literacy work through all kinds of means, doing presentations to individuals, whether it's through writing, whether it's through this podcast or sharing stories, and so we want to share our personal narratives, but we also want to welcome you to interview you, to hear about sort of your experiences. Every week we'll have a theme that we'll talk about. This podcast, we wanted to introduce ourselves and sort of what this is all about. And, so we're going to talk about stories of healing, stories of love, stories of liberation, through our lens, right? And through the lens of the individuals that we will have on the show.
So
right?
that's the first invitation really is share with us, who are you? Who are your people? What brings you to this particular way to unite and come together, and to send those stories to us at mutantsunitedforliberation@gmail.com, and they will be part of whatever launch we do online, where we get to actually share these stories with everybody, so that you all can see the beauty and the connection that we already have. And so send them over. Send yourself dancing, right?
Yes,
like how you grounded.
And if you could figure out that vocal move, please let me know. So it's Mutants Unite for Liberation at gmail.com.
Yes, we look forward. We look forward to those stories. And we're going to be coming to you every 2 weeks. So there's going to be a bi-weekly podcast. And so we are excited to connect with you in between through that email. And also each show is going to be about 20 minutes, so that we can be in your life, knowing that your life is very full and that we have other things that we get to do. And so we are happy that we get to be with you in this way for at least that amount of time. And we like to say it's 20 minutes-ish, because our people in time, we're very cosmic. It's not, always on time, but it's always on time.
Yes, always. And we thank you so much for giving us 20 minutes of your time. We know that time is very precious, and we're grateful for it. We look forward to sharing this space with you at mutantsuniteforliberation@gmail.com.
Yes.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Maybe we could close out with a little music.
A little more bogoing? Okay.
Just a little bit. Just closing out. Because I was feeling that song, From here and there, the Aqui Y Alla.
Hey.
Storytelling for love,
healing, and liberation. Hey. Hasta la próxima.
Adiós.